Hello everyone, this is your girl, small girl with a big goal. This is another edition of Life with Debbie. Please, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscription button. On this week edition on Life with Debbie, we are bringing you up-to-date session on how to master in writing IELTS exams. That is the comprehensive guidelines in writing IELTS exams and gaining your success. Subsequently, in these episodes, we dealt with as to the preferred score that a healthcare assistant is to get when she sits for the IELTS exams or when he or she sits for the IELTS exams. So on this episode, we are tackling as to how you master in writing the IELTS exams. That is the comprehensive guide that one has to go through in order to write the IELTS exams. Beginning with the preparation and practice that one has to make before writing the IELTS exams. Understand the test type as to which the questions is being set. That is building a strong foundation with the English grammar, vocabulary, and the reading skills. So, example, ordinarily, if you weren't a type that used to reading or making time to listening, because you are about sitting for this IELTS exam, in order for you to master a strong foundation in the English grammar, vocabulary, and its speaking, you have to be reading, constantly speaking with people. So on the regular, if you were communicating in your local dialect like 10 times a day, meaning as you are about sitting for this IELTS exams, in order to build your grammar and vocabulary, you have to start practicing in the English language speaking. That is the practice and preparation part. First, understanding as to the concept as to which the examination is being set. The exams is being set in every section, either the speaking, reading, and writing. And secondly, you building a strong foundation in the English speaking, grammar, vocabulary, and reading. That is getting the tools that will help you in practicing. Some might go for Bluetooth speakers. Yes, the Bluetooth speakers, because they want to listen aloud. Others might also go for the earpiece. Let's deal with how to approach answering the questions. We are seated for the examination at the IELTS center. The question is being given to us or the audio is playing. Firstly, listen or read through the instructions carefully to know what each question requires. Normally during examination, even after practicing very well, maybe one way or the other, we get to the examination hall thinking, oh, I've learned this, I've read this, so we just jump quickly to writing, to answering the questions. No. When the examination question is being given to you or the audio is playing, normally there is an instruction as to how to follow in answering the questions. So in our way of approaching the questions, firstly, listen to the instructions very well to know what each question requires. Secondly, if a passage is being given to you, just skim through passages, not into detail, just to help you get the overview of what the passage is about. Example, if a passage is being given to you and you want to read into details on onset, you wouldn't get the time to just flip through to know as to what the passage is about. Sorry. But then if the question is being given to you after reading your instructions, if we take time to just skim through passages, we'll get to know the overview of what the question is about or what the passage is about. After skimming through to know as to what the passage is about, then you take your time to get to know the key words in the passages. Normally when you're answering the questions, there will be some key words that will let you know that, oh, this question is coming from this place, so this is the place where I should focus my answer on. So that will help you because you've already flipped through or skimmed through the passages. So if you've noticed all the keywords and where each keyword is, when you read the question, you know directly where you are going to for your answer. So even in the listening, or the reading, you have to pay attention to key informations that will help you know as to what the question is about. Still on approaching our questions, let's take writing, the category as writing. For instance, if you are being given a question to write an essay, before you begin with, you should have practiced day in and day out to know as to how your structure is going to be. So even before the day is set for you to sit in the examination room, you know as to how to structure your writing, like having a clear understanding as to how your writing should be. That is how the introduction to be, the body will be, and the conclusion will be. So if you have this clear understanding on how to write an essay or how to write anything depending on the question that will be given to you, even if it's difficult, just to say, even if it's difficult, already you know you're structured already. You know as to how the structures go, how you arrange everything. You might as well not fumble in any way. So all got to do with the preparation as to which you put in place. That is, when the question is given to you, you understand as to the instructions and the requirement to tackle the question. Also, you skip through the passages, not into detailed. You just skip through the passage just to get an overview of what the question is asking. Also, you pay attention to the key words that is needed, whether reading or listening. In your listening, in your reading, you pay attention to the key information to help you in answering your questions. Reading as a category, if we've given you a passage to read, it comes with an allocated time that you have to read and answer the questions that comes with it. We've mentioned earlier on how to tackle the questions that you have to skim through passages, not to go into detail in order to meet your allocated sections or your allocated time. So if the passage is being given to you, like you are reading through, in order to boost your speed, which you might have worked on earlier in your practices before sitting for the exams, you have to skim through, develop a habit of skimming through and scanning through passages. But then in your skimming and like scanning through passages, you have to notice the key information. Let's take listening as a category. Listening. Example, in a day in and day out in a conversation, when somebody is communicating, even before the person communicates, if you should listen well to where the person is coming from, you will be able to predict what the person is talking about. That is paying attention to the key information the person is giving. So in listening, in IELTS examination, you have to pay attention to the contextual clues when listening. It will help you. Yes, it will help you to identify the speaker's character and what the speaker is talking. So if you are paying attention to the information that is being given, you'll be able to analyze the clues and the tricks as to which this examiner is speaking, regardless how speed the sound is playing, because already you've practiced in your house and you've worked on your speed and accuracy. So if the due date is there, you start in listening. It's same as conversation. If somebody is communicating to you and you pay attention to the person, you will be able to know exactly what the person is communicating and the key information that the person wants to give you. So listening goes to do with paying attention, working on your speed. Then you are good to go to get your preferred band. So let's go to the tricks and strategies in answering IELTS exams. Yes, IELTS exams is full of tricks and strategies. But then in your constant practicing, even before you sit for this examination, if you are able to master the tricks and strategies in writing these exams, you will get your preferred score. Yes, you get your preferred band. So let's take speaking for instance. If in communication, it's a two-way thing. You are communicating to somebody. So as to the way that you communicate to the person, that will let the person understand what you are saying. So if you are communicating in a way that the person listening doesn't understand, meaning that you have to elaborate clearly on the information that you are giving out. That is the speaking in the IELTS exams. You are talking to examiner, whether facially or whether virtually, in the particular thing or what particular question that you are talking on. Example, let's take a uniform for instance. If you are talking about a uniform, there is a particular information that you want to give about a uniform. If it's a nursing uniform, there is a particular information that you want to give to the person about the nursing uniform. So you should elaborate clearly on the information that you are giving in a way that the examiner will understand as to what you want to communicate. So if you are communicating to the examiner and the examiner doesn't understand what you are talking about, then it's not speaking. Speaking is about you talking to somebody and somebody getting the understanding of what you are communicating. So in IELTS examination, speaking as a category, you should be able to elaborate clearly on the point or the particular question that you are tackling for the examiner to understand the information that you are giving. To our next step, that is time management when writing this IELTS exams. It's very important to take note of the time management because the examination is built on time. You are listening, you are reading within a time bound. So you have to apportion every time as to which you tackle every section. And you have to make sure that in your time management, if there is an allocated time for you to complete every section, you have to make sure that you complete every section or every questions within that section at the appropriate time that is allocated. So for example, if we've given you a reading time or time to finish, you have to make sure that as to your reading that you are doing, you answer all the questions within that allocated time, because time management is very important in every examination, right? Not only IELTS. You can bear in mind with me on that. So particularly with IELTS exams, you have to take key notice of your time management. And in answering your question, if you get stuck along the way, do not spend time on the start question. No. Move forward to the next question because you might not know. Maybe the question that you are tackling now has gotten you stuck, but the next one will be easy for you to answer. So you might as well not waste time on the question that is gotten you stuck in order for you to sacrifice the question that you could have answered easily and come back to the start question. So what I mean with time management is that in answering your questions, you should apportion time in every section that is being given to you in your questions. So if in this section you want to complete within 30 minutes, you have to make sure that these appointed time, 30 minutes, you finish within this 30 minutes. Yes. So if you should get stuck along the way, you can even buy time as you go on, because most of the question, because you've taken keen notice of the information that is required, you might be easier answering some points rather than some points. So if you get stuck along the way, you can go forward and to answer the other questions, and later on, if there is time, you come back to answer the question that is stuck. So what we are trying to say with this time management is that you have to apportion your time very efficiently in IELTS exams. You have to apportion your time very efficiently, because if not, the time will be up and you've not answered anything. But if you should discipline yourself in preparation, in time of preparation, even before the set date for the examination, then you'll be disciplined as to how to work within a time frame that is given to you in a particular section. The last point that you want to touch on, that is achieving your required score. At the end of the day, when you've set to write this IELTS exams, what is the preferred band that you want to get? If you have a target, familiarize yourself with the band score that is required in each section among the 4 categories. Yes, in your practicing, as you are practicing constantly on your listening, speaking, writing, You have to pay attention to the preferred band score in each section that is required. If you are writing as a healthcare assistant, if you are writing as a nurse, you have to familiarize yourself with the criteria as to which the scoring is being done in each section. After you familiarize yourself with this particular score that you require, you will get to know as to the weakness in your constant practicing. Maybe in my practicing, I'm good at writing, but I'm not good in speaking. I'm good at listening, but I'm not good in writing. That is the place that you have to familiarize yourself with. So as to the place that you know that you are not good at, that is the place that you have to spend more time in practicing. Yes, so in your practicing, even before you sit for the examination, you must know as to the section or within the categories, the place that your weakness is, and that is the place that you have to spend time in practicing. Yes, you have to spend time in practicing, and after practicing day in and day out, your speed, your accuracy, your level of knowing the key informations, at the end of the day, when you sit for the IELTS exams, you will get the success that you require. That is the preferred band score that you require. Once again, it's your girl, small girl with a big God, and it's another edition on Life with Debbie, educating on how to master on the skills in order to write IELTS and get the success that require, or the band score that we require. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Just share. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel Life with Debbie.